I will start right now. We can already start. So some people will start to connect soon. Welcome everybody to this is the fourth Café Virtual that our student chapter from the Tecnológico de Costa Rica, the ACS student chapter. For me, it's really a nice pleasure because Catarina is with us. I met Catarina many years ago in a really nice conference in, if I remember well, was in Nuremberg in Germany. And from that time, we become really close friends, colleagues. And I mean, from my side and from my group of students and my university, it's a pleasure to have her with us. Today, I mean, the president of the chapter is with some technological problems, so I want to thank everybody here. I want to tell something about Catarina. Catarina did his master and PhD thesis at the Instituto de Tecnología, if I remember well, Instituto de Tecnología Química e Biológica Antonio Xavier at the Universidade Nova de Lisboa. And right now she's a researcher. She has been working a lot with a lot of more than a dozen of publications and peer review articles. And I mean, for us, it's really nice to have her with us. I only want to remind everybody that please keep the microphones off and also the video. Later, when Catarina finished, and if someone wants to ask, feel completely free to put on the camera so we can see you asking. If someone wants to ask whatever you want in Spanish, puedo escribir en portugués, because I think there is many friends from Brazil, from the Universidade de São Paulo, and also from the Universidade Federal de Rio de Janeiro. Some friends from Mexico. I think we have also some friends from United States. So feel completely free. I mean, Catarina, me, and someone else can help with the English, Portuguese, or Spanish translations. Catarina, more than welcome, and please feel free. So we have Catarina for a moment. And when Catarina finished, we can ask all the questions, opinions. Everybody feel free to drink your coffee, bring the snacks. This is a really, we try to put this cafe as something more, not so crazy, as something more like if we will meet in a coffee place outside on the street. So that's the idea. Catarina, bienvenida.
Obrigada, Isaac. Bom, olá a todos. Hi, everyone. I hope you can listen to me nice
yes,
enough
we can listen
and
in.
you can see me. Okay. So Isaac already did the presentation. I hope you are all fine, having in mind this pandemic that we are all going through. So this is a bit of a bummer, but I think we will overcome this as a whole. I think as a scientist is quite interesting to see how many scientists are actually coming even more together to try to fight this new virus and the condition that it is causing. That's meaning the COVID-19. Well, I will probably now share my screen with you, and I will do a presentation. I hope it's not too boring. I think it's, for me, the first time I'm doing something more informal. So if you really feel like you want to give your questions or keep your questions all to the end, please do it. But if you really have some really urgent question, please, you can try to interrupt me if I see your interactions here, because if I'm going to share my screen, I'm not sure then if I can Oh yes, I will keep having this here. Okay. So, are you seeing my screen now?
Yes, we are watching.
Okay. So, as Isaac told you, he invited me to do something more informal, and thinking about being a scientist, but also more recently a mom. And then I thought of this title because through our lives we are many things, and therefore the scientist, chemist, daughter, partner, daughter-in-law, and mom, like mom, mommy. So yeah, okay. So I'm currently working at Centro de Química Estrutural. This is in Faculdade de Ciências here in the University of Lisbon, Universidade de Lisboa. But my alma mater is ITQB, so Instituto de Tecnologia Química e Biológica, also near Lisbon, but in Oeiras. So I will start really with the beginning. So I will say the school years. I'm here. So this is a picture from my first school year. And by that time, I remember that I really enjoyed languages, and that's something that you can transpose very well to science, because as you can see with Isaac, it's very nice because you can speak in English, you can speak Portuguese, you can speak Portuñol, you can speak, I don't know, a little bit of Italian, French. So and in the scientific world, you will always meet these different people from all around the world, and you will be able to speak all these different languages. Then I always used to ride also a bike, and I really love to swim, and also to write a little bit. So I like to write a little bit of poetry. We have a few known writers from Portugal. I don't know if you know them, like Fernando Pessoa or Luís de Camões, and so they are huge in school, and then this is a bit of an inspiration. But then a bit further, so eventually I finished my first 4 school years, and then I was connecting with languages, and by the 7th school year, science classes just won me over. So I had the first science, like physical chemistry and all that, and I really enjoyed it. I also liked a lot, for instance, paleontology. But then if you think about a language and how chemistry can become a new language, particularly if you think about organic chemistry, then I would say that chemistry was the ultimate language.
Yeah, es eso.
I think we have some problem with some people with the microphones. Please put microphones off. Okay, thank you. Sorry.
Okay, or if you just have really a huge question that you cannot hold on, please share it with us. But it needs to be a little bit louder because it was, I couldn't understand. So the university years were very hard in terms of work and on long hours. But anyway, we have nice memories like this one here. As you can see, I did a BSc in chemical and biological engineering, and we were a lot of girls. So we had a few colleagues, but I don't know where they were at the time of this picture. So anyway, it was funny. And it was here in Lisbon also. And then my first both scientific and international experience was in this Erasmus that I did in France. So in Béthune. I always loved French, so for me it was very nice. I was very happy to be there. As you can see, I'm also here. So we were a nice group of people from all around Europe in this case, and we were very well received. We have here two fellows from Île La Réunion, so this is near Madagascar, but since they are sort of French, well, we were all from Europe here. Then I have this other very nice experience. So a project in that joined engineers, architects to reconstruct the site of a wastewater treatment plant. And this was in Finland, so this was very cold for me at least. And here is just a funny picture here from near Lisbon, where I grew up, where I was a monitor in an environmental project. So we were basically just cleaning the beach and telling the people, okay, you really should use the nice places to put your garbage. Please don't smoke and put your smoke on the sand, and all that. So we were doing, we were cleaning and doing the sensibilization. We would do games with children, so it was very nice also. So all this during the university years, and eventually I finished the BSc and then the master. And I was very lucky because when I finished, I actually graduated like top of my class. So they gave me this nice diploma and a few euros that I used to visit Isaac when he was working in the Netherlands, in Leiden. And I was very happy because he showed me the university and the NMR machines that he was working with. And for me, it was very nice because we even went to the Leiden University where they have a room with the signatures on the walls of Einstein and Marie Curie, so it was nice. Then I started working, even when I was doing the master's at ITQB with Professor Rita Delgado, and then we started to publish a few works. In this case, this is mainly the work of these two colleagues. I just helped with some studies and revising the manuscript. That's why I'm not the first author. And then also when I was being introduced to this field, I was helping here. It was a French postdoc, so very nice work also. Here another postdoc from the group, and then eventually I did it. And since I synthesized the ligands, I purify them, I study them, and I try to write the better I could the manuscript. That's why here I'm the first author. So just to tell you very briefly, the kind of chemistry we were doing was, we in the beginning we were thinking about molecules that could be used as contrast agents in PET scans and magnetic resonances. So imagine when a person has a tumor and they need to do an exam and to see how big that mass is and the exact location. So you can use the contrast enhancers, the contrast agents, and something like .rm. So .rm is available commercially, and it is a cyclene moiety. So it's a cycle with 4 nitrogens, and then it chelates very well a metal core that will then coordinate an apical water molecule that will go on and off, and that will enhance the signal, for instance, for an NMR or resonance, magnetic resonance scan. So this was the purpose of this kind of ligands. In this work, also a collaboration with some French colleagues. So you can see that these cycling units, so these tetraas and macrocycles, they were very prone to get the metal inside and then coordinate it in a way that it would be so strongly bound there that in this example, I could put a complex, a copper complex for almost 1 month in 12 molar HCl at something like 90 degrees, if I remember well, and it was only after 1 month it would destabilize this complex. So only then the metal would go out. So very inert complexes, that was the term that normally we used. So again, searching for these kind of compounds, a new work, and then here with a slight different purpose, we were looking for ditopic complexes that could get some anions inside. In this case, phosphorylated or phosphate-derived anions, like pyrophosphate, which is this one that is here in red. And then you can ask, oh, but what was the intent of these new ligands and complexes, dinuclear or ditopic complexes? So in this case, it was the inhibition of a protein, this STAT3 protein, which is known to be involved in many cancer cells. It is a protein of transduction, and it means that when its levels are very high in a cell, it's very overactive and is translating a lot. So it's associated with the cell progression and differentiation in cancer. So again, one more study, and here all these are looking to the phosphate derivatives due to their relevance, because this protein is known to be phosphorylated in the residue. So if you try to go for the phosphate, maybe you can inhibit this protein to be so active, and then you would lower the activity of the cancer cells. Eventually, we end up with a ligand that was not so good as we thought it might be for phosphate anions. So what we did was to play with chemistry. So sometimes, sometimes you have a design and you think, oh, I will do this work and it will lead me to that point. But then chemistry tells you, no, I'm sorry, I have other plans. And so it happened with this ligand, and eventually we, after screening a lot of metal ions and anions, we found that it was sensitive to mercury. So it was our last paper. But, well, enough with this. Probably with this I put you asleep. So now I will tell you a little bit of what was for me really a fun part of all this hard work that I was trying to very shortly describe to you. So you work a lot, you work long hours in the lab, sometimes it's very frustrating because you put a lot of yourself and then everything goes to trash. It happens a lot in organic synthesis and all, but in the end, when you get it, you'll be very happy. And then if you get it, you will be able to have results to show in posters, in presentations, and then you can go and be with other scientists and meet excellent people around the world. So these were actually my first two conferences. This was in Portugal, so in Aveiro, and this one was in Nuremberg, and where I met Isaac, and it was a very nice one. So it was very well organized by the German Association of Chemistry or Society of Chemistry. And we even had this social event in the Nuremberg Stadium, because they have a football team, and all the chemists were there. It was very nice with the fireworks and all. Then I continued to work as much as I could to continue to travel and meet people. So here was a nice conference in Bordeaux, and some more in Portugal, the national meetings of the Portuguese Society of Chemistry, which many of you, if you want, you can, I believe, become an associate, because the value is very small. We don't, especially if you are a student, and for Brazilian students, it might be interesting for any possible internships or something like this. I don't know, if you want to check their website, please do. They have Facebook and all social media that we now have. This ISMEC is an international symposium on metal complexes. This one was very nice. I've attended some during these years. And then a few photos about the PhD class of 2013. So we were a very united group of people from very different scientific areas. So we had people from plants, from cells, from plants. You had people working with rice, people working with the pine tree, with maize, and then you had people in cells, people working with animals, and then you had two chemists. That was it. And we organized, we had an association named Interactive, so it was for the people of ITQB to interact, and we would organize these nice parties by the water reservoir for in case of fire, you know, so it's like a pool, very nice. Actually, it was forbidden to swim in there. Then ITQB belongs to Universidade Nova de Lisboa, and they, in the beginning of your PhD, they organized this very nice research skills development course, which is held on Rábida. It's a natural park near Lisbon also, so also very nice memories. Again, here you have, these were almost all PhD students for the first year, and they were for very different, scientific areas. So you had people you had chemists, you had people from economics, management, biologists, biochemists, so people from, it was amazing to see everyone trying to work together. Eventually, I attended also another EUCAM's big congress in Prague. And let me tell you that for me, it's very sad that we are having this pandemic now, because this year was the year of Lisbon to host this EUCAM's big chemistry congress. And I think everything is postponed due to the pandemic. Anyway, another EUCAM's conference, this time in Turkey, and so on and so forth. So here in Italy, with very nice colleagues that also work in this case on studies with the metal ions and the calculations of the stability constants of these ligands that I've shown you with the metal ions. Also a conference in Strasbourg, here organized by a scientist that maybe some of you already heard about. So Wizard Koller, she has a strong group of supramolecular chemistry. And in Strasbourg, they have 2 Nobel Prizes. Huh? They have Jean-Marie Elaine and they have Sauvage. So it's supramolecular chemistry rules. Eventually, also I managed to be abroad again in France, in Brest, so in the Brittany part. I was very well received and very well treated, and I was learning to do some reactions that I couldn't do alone. And I was an invited PhD student there for a while, and I have very nice memories and friends for life. So again, science will unite people, will connect us. So I did this little play or joke. So here on the left, you can see the countries where I've actually been. So you can see that I never left Europe. But I've contacted people from all over the world already. So, and now even more with these webinars and online conferences, you can actually contact with lots and lots of people. Of course, in my opinion, nothing is like being physically with someone, in the sense that you probably will learn much more, and it's very enriching, and you have all your senses working, right? You are not just listening or seeing someone, you are smelling, you are touching, it's different. But anyway, it's a phase, I hope, and we should try to take advantage of everyone being more or less working from home and going less to work. At the university, we are adjusting a lot of things, and basically almost all classes are online now, and professors are adapting. And we are trying maybe to keep things this way. So let's see. I think this pandemic will probably bring big changes in education for the future. I was lucky enough to have a few awards, and just a few slides about this. Here was an highlight about on the chemical and engineering news. I recently became an ACS associate or member, and well, actually it was due to this pandemic, because I started to have a little more time at home to see this kind of stuff. So I took advantage, because it's a world that you can explore and you have really nice things. Then I defended my PhD. It was a very nice afternoon I was nervous, very nervous, as I'm normally always. But anyway, it ended up to be a nice conversation between a lot of people that knew more than me, because they are very experienced scientists. But it was a nice conversation, even sometimes a little bit of discussion, but that's really important in science. And then, not to bother you more with this kind of stuff, I thought, well, if this is informal, what can I put more? And then I remember, well, I have a collection of photographs that I've been taking all these years, because many times the kind of work I was doing was a bit lonely, in the sense that you need to synthesize your own ligand, you need to do it basically alone, and then you need to study it analytically, and you need to do it basically alone. So sometimes when I was waiting for some equipment to stabilize or a measurement, I would take photos or do videos. So here you can see like a spectrophotometer. This is an EPR, I will show you later. This is kind of binocular device, and so on and so forth. These are the potentiometric titration cells that I used for almost 10 years. I did hundreds of titrations, but as you can see, very nice colors always resulted, because when you work with metal ions, and particularly copper, nickel, cobalt, you get really nice colors. So it's very joyful. This is one example of one potentiometric setup that we had in the lab, and some examples of complex synthesis. Again, the colors are very nice. These are some examples of copper complexes. In this case, they resulted very green. And here you have a sort of game, like a maze that they did in the institute for children when they came. We normally do an open day, and people come, like families and all that, to see the institute and what we do. And we did this game in the garden. You see this kind of spike here is actually from the Nmr room of the highest field we have here in Portugal, which is 800 megahertz. These are some photographs from the electron paramagnetic resonance apparatus that we have also. Here, what is the difference between NMR and EPR? So in NMR, you can see all your organic compounds and all that. And here in EPR, you can see if you have radicals or if you have paramagnetic complexes. Okay, so anytime you have a copper complex, anytime you have an iron 2 complex. So the guys from biochemistry or even biology also use a lot this technique if they want to know, for instance, how the heme group, which has the iron that is transporting oxygen or CO, how it is behaving and how it is its oxidation cycle, etc. This is an example of an indicator displacement assay. The first time I read about this was from an American researcher called Ansling, and you can see here very nice colors resulted also, but not due to complexes, but due to the indicator, because you need to choose an indicator. In this case, I think it was pyrogalol head. So it gives you this really nice color. And then if you will add, in my case, a dinuclear complex, you have a different response. So you have different color. This means when you go to the spectrophotometer, you have a different band, okay? And then you start adding, for instance, anions, and you will see which of them will replace itself and release the indicator again to the medium, so you can go back to this nice color or very near. So this is a very nice assay because you can visually detect, let's say, a pollutant, for instance, very easily in a cheap way. And if you have a spectrophotometer, you can have a graph with it. Then just this slide, just to tell you that actually I constructed a lot of space filling models. I don't know if we can buy these online nowadays. I know those were quite old because they were always cracking because they were in the lab, and when things are many years exposed to solvents or solvent atmosphere, solvent-rich atmosphere, it starts to, the plastic starts to degrade more. So, but anyway, it was fine. So all of this was at the Coordination and Supramolecular Chemistry Lab. Again, ITTB, I've told you about. These were very hard work years, but a very nice group of people, very nice memories. So now I'm in the postdoc years, and this is to be continued because it's ongoing. Also very nice group of people, but a much bigger group, and they are a group of molecular energetics, so they are more physical chemists. So it's a bit different for me, and it's a challenge. So many times you read about this and you heard the opinions of other scientists, and what they tell you is, well, if you can after the PhD, please change a little bit your focus so you can learn actually something else and not stagnate. So that's what's actually for me with this group. Just as this was informal, so here is the family. My parents, I think maybe it's important to tell you this, as it is like a coffee break. My father, I don't know if you can notice, he cannot move his left arm, nor really well his left leg. He had a stroke in 2002. So I had just turned 16 years old, and it was very hard on me and my mother. But anyway, life had to continue. But the Portuguese government always, I applied for fellowships, and I always get them. And so actually they helped a lot. And so this was, it still is a challenge because he's still sick. He still has these problems that are related to the stroke, because this stays for life. But anyway, just to tell you that if you have some troubles in your life, it's not, you should not give up. You should continue, and you will eventually succeed. And now I have this really nice boy that also gives me a little bit more will to do stuff and to get there. And thinking about family and how do children get into this equation of working in a lab and having to sometimes travel, or other times to work long hours. Well, being a woman, I thought, well, how many women won the Nobel Prize in Chemistry? Well, the answer is here, these 5 women. And all, they were all mothers, okay? So it's doable. So, and some of them even have health issues, and anyway, it's just a matter that you find something you really like in life, and then you hold on to it, and you use that to become better and better, and try to keep on learning all your life, because that's what science is all about. This is Frances Arnold. She was the last one to receive the Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 2018. She's the mother of 3, and she's known for the directed evolution of enzymes. If you want, then you can find her full Nobel lecture on the Nobel Prize website. Now this will start, but maybe I can give you the presentation if you want later, or you can go to the website. Ada Yonath won the Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 2009. She's a mother of 1 girl, and she's known for the studies of the structure and function of ribosomes. She was cartoon many times with the ribosome structure in her head, because she has curly hair, so it's kind of funny. And actually, I heard this scientist in Oeiras, in Natividade. She went there, and she reserved a small, or no, it was not so small, but the last part of her talk was reserved to talk to girls mainly, and to women, because she traveled a lot around the world, and she still thought that women in some cases and in some countries struggle a lot to do what they really love and to get to the top. So she was saying, okay, you can be a mom, you can be a group leader, you can be a university teacher, you can do all these things, you never let people tell you can't. But it's truth that still nowadays, even here in Portugal, you have like now you have more women than men in universities, but still at the higher career levels you have men. Okay. You have Dorothy Hodgkin. She was very inspiring for me because I read her biography when I was doing my PhD, and she was a really hard-working woman. She was the mother of 3, and she is known for her determinations using X-ray of the structure of important substances like vitamin B12, for instance. She spent years working on the structure of insulin. So she would grow small crystals that she would put on an X-ray diffractometer to then get these patterns that you will need in the beginning to calculate by hand, to have the probabilities of the atoms being here, 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 you see. So now we have computers and programs that compute all this data for us. Dorothy Hodgkin was doing this by herself in the beginning, so she won the Nobel Prize for this. Then, if you want to know another woman that won the Nobel Prize, you need to jump a little bit in history to Elaine Julio Cuhi. She was a mother of 2, and she was known for the recognition of their synthesis. In the recognition of their synthesis of new radioactive elements. She worked with her husband, and she was actually the daughter of Marie Curie, which was the first woman to receive the Nobel Prize in Chemistry, and the first woman to receive a Nobel Prize in Physics and in Chemistry. So she won in two fields. She was also a mother of two, and here she is among men, because at her time, well, she was, I think, very lucky to marry a man that had a different mind, and they worked together for years and years and years. And she's known for the radioactivity and the discovery of elements like radium and polonium and all that you probably know about already. So with this, I would like to thank you, and I would like to thank Isaac here for his invitation, and I hope this was light enough. And well, stay healthy. And here I give you the rainbow that is now everywhere. This one was taken here in the Serra da Estrela. So we have a serra, a mountain that has a little bit of snow on the top, and I was lucky to take this picture. And I would say exercise as you can. And I leave you with this flash mob done at Faculdade de Ciências last year regarding the International Year of the Periodic Table. So we were jumping on our periodic table. I don't know if you can see, I hope. Yes?
Yes.
So each of us had a symbol of the periodic table on the shirt, and we were doing this dance. In the beginning, it seemed a bit silly for me, but in the end, it was really nice to meet all the other scientists, and it was like a bonding activity, you know. Okay, so maybe now with this plan of people dancing, I can,
Yeah,
we can switch to questions if you want.
that's,
So,
I mean, the last one is really, really amazing. And I don't know how much time it took to organize everything, because to manage with so many people on the periodic table, I don't know if we can find periodicity on that.
it was a bit difficult in the beginning, yeah, to put everyone going to the right side because
No.
we are all a bit nerds. Okay, so it was okay, but
I
then
think,
in the end, people were saying, "Oh, we want more."
I think everybody here, if someone is connected on this talk, is because it's a bit nerdy also. So that's something really nice that connect all of us. I want to thank Catarina. I mean, right now will be really nice to have some hugs and applauses, because my first idea when I contact Catarina was, let's not talk too much about chemistry, not in detail, because there is many students here of different fields, and there is already a lot of seminars and webinars about coordination chemistry. But I think that's what the idea, and I'm really, really happy of your presentation, because it was really nice, and to invite the students and people here that, I mean, it's all about have an objective in mind to follow that. And I mean, Catarina is also quite young, and that's something that at least for me is important to give optimism to the people. If you have some ideas, and as you said in the talk, right, that when you have a problem, that's normal, right? You need to continue and try to solve that. I want to invite people right now. If you want to talk, if you want to make a comment, you can speak in English. At the end, I want that someone from different or universities subscribe to the American Chemical Society can say something. Se vou falar em português, é possível. Y si quieren preguntar en español, pues adelante, chicos, es con toda la calma del mundo.
¿Puedo intentar portuñol?
Portuñol. Así que por favor tengan la total, disculpen que está un poco oscuro acá y tengo un problema de iluminación y hay una tormenta. There is a really huge storm right now in Costa Rica, but at least you can listen me and maybe see some of my face. I will start with the first question because I have many and maybe that will create people more energetics on that. How is to work, because I'm a physical chemist, that's my background. How is to work on coordination chemistry? How is the advice for coordination chemistry? Because I got the impression, and I remember when I studied that people said, if you want to study coordination chemistry or organic chemistry or synthesis, you need to have the skills. Can you develop those skills?
I think you can always develop a set of skills. It's a matter of hard work. Probably a few people might be more talented for that than others, but if you work long enough in an issue, you will eventually get there. Okay, so everything in life is hard work. I mean, if you are trying to make a chair in wood, then you need to carve the wood and everything. So it's really hard work. So with organic synthesis and then coordination chemistry, it's the same. But eventually when you get there, then it's like you are playing a game. And with the metal cations, it's very nice because then you have the nice colors and it helps a little bit your day, you know, when you are already, I mean, I did this before having a child, okay, but sometimes I would pass 13 hours in the lab and I was like, but then if you get a nice result, you'll be really happy. But
and another question that I have, Catarina, is how is, because I always tell my students and people that it's important interdisciplinarity to try to move from different fields. What's your opinion about that? To move from organic chemistry to NMR, physical chemistry, biology, mathematics?
I think it's the future. It's really important, but you still need to dedicate a fair amount of time to each area, because if you don't, you will never grasp what you need, because they are complex enough and they all need some time for us. At least in my opinion, you need to read and then you don't understand and then you read again and maybe then you get the ideas in place. And for instance, I can tell you that sometimes now I go to textbooks that I couldn't read 10 years ago because it was too hard, and now I get it. So it takes time, and when we are very young we don't have that patience. So maybe that's why it's better for us to be in the lab executing things and trying to do them well, and then when we have a little bit more patience we can study deeper something. So but it's the future, interdisciplinarity, and you can see with the pandemic, this COVID-19, it's interdisciplinarity.
Yeah,
it's the key.
People, someone, I know that there is people from Brazil, from Mexico, here, from United States. We have also some people, also from, of course, Costa Rica. I want to listen some of you. Quiero escuchar alguno con toda la confianza del mundo. Catarina no muerde. Catarina is a really nice lady.
E eu, quando era criança, vi muita novela da Globo, por isso posso falar um pouquinho de brasileiro também.
Por favor, alguien no sé si alguien aquí que me había escrito, someone who wrote me from the Universidad de São Paulo o de Federal de Rio de Janeiro, if I remember well. I think the president of the chapter is here. Feel completely free. I know that
Show us
some...
your faces. Show us your faces. They are all
yeah, I mean,
fighting.
that could be something really nice. Maybe, Catarina, you can maybe stop sharing your presentation.
Yeah. Sorry. Stop.
And people, you can, I will suggest that something really nice. And I understand that for many students, it's maybe for, at least for some of the Costa Rican ones, the first time that they are listening a conversation in English. Siéntanse completamente libres de poner las cámaras. We can put the cameras on if you want. And if someone can say something.
Decir-vos que meu inglês ou portunhol is it's not the best because it's already late here in Portugal.
Yeah. It's also a bit late. I think we have also Becky Miller. Becky, if you want to say at least hello to us, that will be something really cool.
I guess get my camera on for inviting me, and thank you, Catarina. That was excellent. I'm Becky Miller. I work with the ACS with the student chapters, and so Isaac had told me about this Café Virtual, and so of course I wanted to check it out and say hi to everyone. I thought it was a really great presentation. I really appreciated how you wove your own story and especially family into the research and all of your accomplishments, because I think it's really important, especially for students, to understand the whole picture and to really hear from someone who is pretty young and kind of how all the pieces fit together at the same time and everything is always happening together, of course.
Becky, are you drinking your coffee?
I switched to water.
Okay.
We can make a toast. It's also water, but
see you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Again, and I think there is someone from Brazil here. That will be something really nice. That, I mean, feel completely free and enjoy. That's not a. We really want to see some people talking here. I don't remember the name.
Hi.
Stephanie.
I just switched my phone because my computer has problems. So I just wanted to say that I really like Catarina's presentation. I think it's really nice because when you're a woman and you're a scientist, or in my case, studying engineering, it's really nice to see other women, what they do and what they are doing in their lives. Is really like an inspiration, and that was, I really like the presentation.
Obrigada. Thank you.
Victor Poltronieri, può parlare? I don't know if someone is here.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hi.
Everyone.
Fala português, sim.
Português? That's okay to talk in English.
Okay.
But I can talk in Portuguese too. I don't know if everyone is okay with Portuguese. I know that some people from Costa Rica or Mexico, I think it's okay. But I don't know the Beck Miller, I don't know. But it's okay to talk in Portuguese, or I don't know. Ok, eu tô falando em português porque assim foi meu primeiro contato com todo mundo assim, mas eu gostei muito da apresentação. Como a Stephanie disse, é muito inspiradora, eu achei muito inspiradora, it's really inspiring. E eu achei interessante que tinha muitas meninas na sala de engenharia. Eu achei isso muito curioso, porque...
É porque é engenharia química.
Pode ser também. Mas eu acho que eu vou ficar trocando em inglês, porque às vezes eu faço isso. But here in Brazil, especially in São Carlos, we have a school of engineering, and there is like one woman compared to 100 men in each year, in each class, you know. So it's really curious how many women, how many girls were in that class. And I like to share some I don't know. We have a project here that's named Meninas na Ciência, women in science, you know. And we haven't launched this project, but we're hoping to reach a lot of, you know, explicar toda essa, como é que fala? Porque a gente está tentando trazer para muito mais gente esse tipo de história inspiradora, sabe? Que, por exemplo, nesse café atual tem o que, I don't know, 20, 50 people, I don't know, 100, that's no, 33 participants. And o objetivo disso é levar para muito mais gente. A gente ainda está no comecinho do projeto. E só queria mostrar isso também e dizer que na hora que apareceu lá, eu pensei assim, nossa, tem tantas meninas. Aí eu percebi na minha cabeça que antes do último processo seletivo, a gente tinha só 3 homens de 13 participantes que a gente tinha no chapter. E entrou muito mais mulher do que entrou homem. Aí eu fiquei só pensando nisso. Achei curioso também.
Mas sabe que aqui em Portugal você tem muito mais mulher no ensino superior do que homem. E em química eles gozavam conosco porque nós tínhamos, outras engenharias tinham homens, né? Em química eram muito mais mulheres, então eles faziam, nós temos fazemos a iniciação ao ensino superior com o que eles chamam praxe. I don't know if you heard about, so they pick the new students and they will be a bit bullies with them, but at the same time they will show them the university and how service works and everything, and they will scream at us, química, química, because we were all girls or almost all girls. So.
Catarina, and that's interesting because at least here in Costa Rica, in chemistry, there is, again, the proportion between women and men is more men than women. And in our university, I mean, it's a technological university, I will say that is maybe 70-30 men, women. How would you say is a good way to involve women in science or engineering? Because I don't know if women has the feeling that maybe starting an engineer career is complicated, or what's the reason why women don't enter in an engineer career?
Maybe they stay a bit frightened by some very old ideas or stereotypes. I think we just need to tell them that engineering is very good because it teaches you to do almost everything. And look, women or women in general like to do a lot of things, right? People say, at the same time and everything. So if you think about that and you think that you have an engineering tool, you are empowered to do a lot of things. So actually, I went to engineering because I didn't really know what I should do because I liked so many things. I've told you I liked languages a lot. I like also drawing or writing, or so. Then in the end, I thought, well, but I really like science also. But even though I was not so sure, I knew I liked chemistry, but I thought if I just take a chemistry course, maybe in the end I don't have a job. So then I thought, oh, what about engineering? Because engineering, you will always learn a core that will unite you with other engineers, but you will learn chemistry also. But then when I decided to do research, it was in a way worse for me because I needed to learn more about chemistry, okay? Because you have engineering and chemistry, and when you do just a chemistry course, you are stronger just in chemistry. So in this case, what I think the tools you get are tools that will enable you to do a lot of things. So you should tell girls that engineering is cool because you can learn to deal with a lot of things, with mathematics, with physics, with chemistry, with mechanics, with informatics, whatever. But your mic.
Yeah, something that was really funny for me, because this semester I'm teaching organic chemistry. And you were saying that you are using organic models, the 3D models. So even in that level, for you it's important to play with the models.
Yeah, this was in the beginning. It was an imposition of my boss because she's now probably 73 or 74. Okay, so she's old school. She did the postdoc in the United States of America in a different time, but in one way she was right. Catarina, you need to think that a molecule is not just what you are drawing. It's really the space filling model that will tell you if the cation can enter or if the anion can enter. Okay, because those space filling models give you the probability of the electrons to be there. So if you are trying to design a scaffold where you wish something to get inside, but if you don't have a space, it's rubbish. So that's why it's interesting. And actually I would like to buy some of these to play with my son, because I think it's kind of a Lego.
Yeah.
So apart for being old and being breaking when I was doing them, it was actually fun in the end. So of course you can do computational chemistry and all that stuff, but that's a little bit more advanced. So in the beginning, if you play with some models, and I think now in schools, even in schools before university, you have that. But in my time, I didn't. So it was nice for me in the beginning of research to do that.
Yeah. I don't know if someone from, I think we have some people from Guatemala. If someone from Guatemala wants to say hello, alguien del chapter de Guatemala quiere saludar, o de México, quisieran dar un saludo, bueno, no solamente a Catarina y a los compañeros en general. Feel completely free. I know that there is many students here, many young people, and they feel worried. But again, we are
I'll
trying
say again, show us your faces.
Sí, pueden mostrar sus caras y eso, como está haciendo Víctor. es una cosa que ayuda bastante a socializar bastante más la situación.
You see? Can you see? Oh, you cannot see the numbers here. In Portugal, it's 11 and 41. So, and well, I'm a bit falling asleep. No, I'm kidding. Show us your faces. Because I'm just seeing names. Ah, hi. Thank you. So I won't fall asleep.
Sí, por favor, ¿alguien
Hi.
más que se quiera presentar? Sí.
Hola, pues no hablo mucho inglés, entonces no sé si ella me entienda el español. Bueno, yo pertenezco al capítulo de las, pero de Colombia. I'm from Colombia, ¿ya?
Okay.
De la Universidad Pedagógica Nacional. Estoy en un semillero que ya pertenece al capítulo y pues me brindaron lo de los cafés virtuales. Entonces me parece muy interesante que una mujer esté trabajando, que haya estudiado ingeniería y además que esté trabajando en la química, ya que mi fuerte es la licenciatura en química, pues es lo que estoy estudiando actualmente. Me parece interesante tus trabajos, me gustaría profundizar en ellos y leerlos. Y además de eso, pues también conocer más frente al que es el estudio de la ingeniería en la química. Y además que vi que estás trabajando mucho lo que es la bioquímica, que también me interesa mucho el trabajo de la bioquímica, y el tema de los programas computacionales también. De lo que hablabas de las estructuras, de que la probabilidad de encontrar un electrón en un determinado lugar, me parece muy interesante. Y además también trabajar lo que has ya investigado y profundizar en ello, pues para que nutrir esa investigación y saber más acerca de lo que es la química en sí, que no está lejos. La verdad, la química está presente en todo momento y el tema de la licenciatura permite de que los mismos estudiantes tengan un acercamiento a la química y no lo vean como algo más allá externo de ellos, sino que está presente en ellos mismos. Tan solo las rutas metabólicas, los procesos, entender cómo funciona es importante y para la formación de ciudadanos y que estos tomen unas buenas decisiones frente a lo que tenga que ver con la intervención y el conocimiento que deben saber acerca de la química. Entonces, los trabajos que realizaste me parecen interesantes y el tema de que saque la cara a una mujer en cuanto al estudio de los trabajos en química es importante tanto para el, el movimiento femenino, pero además de eso, pues también estás dando un aporte a la investigación en global, porque es para todos. La ciencia es para todos, debe ser tratada de igual manera para todos.
Y así es la química, es para todos. Después que conozcas la química y el lenguaje, percebes que es para todos.
Ajá, exacto, es para todos y pues a nadie se le debe negar saber sobre química, entonces es importante.
Your mic.
Ay, perdón, mira que estoy con utilizo otra plataforma, I use another platform and I start to use Zoom. Que lo que dijo Luisa es muy cierto, Luisa, la última parte de que la química debe ser prácticamente un derecho de las personas, es una frase que nunca había escuchado y que creo que es muy cierta. How important is to put chemistry as maybe internet, to have water, to know the basis of chemistry, but properly, right? Lo importante de enseñar química bien.
It's very important if you think that if people around the world would know a little bit more about chemistry, they won't be so many times fooled by some substances that people sell or whatever. You would understand, above all, you won't fear chemistry because it's It's not something to fear. It's something to understand, because it's to understand how I'm composed, okay? How this is made. So it's understanding what surrounds us. Everything is chemistry. Water is chemistry.
Yeah.
It's a chemical, okay? People say, oh, they put chemicals in the water. Hello. Water itself, it's a
Yeah.
chemical substance. So so you were very right, and people shouldn't be afraid of chemistry. And of course, in the beginning is a bit harsh. It is.
Yeah.
It's a language, but then in the end, I don't speak Mandarin or Russian, right? But if I draw some molecules like this and I show to a Russian guy, he will understand me.
Yeah.
So that's amazing.
I
Sí,
think,
claro.
Luisa, ¿quieres decir algo?
Pues además de que pues hablamos diferentes idiomas, la química es algo que nos une, ¿sí? O sea, yo la entiendo cuando me habla de química, yo creo que ella me entiende cuando yo le hablo de química, entonces es un lenguaje universal que al fin y al cabo viene a unir.
That's another reason why I wanted to put this talk, these cafés in different languages, because I think it's nice que me gusta que, por ejemplo, Luis hable un momento español o que Víctor hable portugués o Catarina. Al final de cuentas, tenemos que empezar a pensar que el mundo es uno y la cuestión de idiomas no debería ser una separación, sino una unidad. And when you listen something like the talk of Catarina, you discover that at the end, that kind of research, I mean, also publishing many ACS that Catarina, I don't know if for you happens, but for me at the beginning, and I always say this to the people in the United States, for me, ACS was an editorial board and was a place only for publications. And when you start to see that ACS is more than publication, that's amazing, that chemistry is more than publish. It's also about sharing, about outreach, about leaderships. Lo importante de la química que va más allá, es liderazgo, es trabajo en comunidades. Y, por ejemplo, la American Chemical Society está trabajando mucho en esto y eso es muy interesante porque muchos pensábamos que la ciencia era publicar y publicar y publicar y la ciencia va más allá, ¿verdad?
Verdad.
Sí.
But in the beginning, I was like you. I thought it was just a publisher, yeah. But now you can see it's much more.
Yeah.
But that is changing all over the world. And about being one world, this virus is showing us that this is one world.
Yeah, true.
Very democratic.
I think we can stop right now. We have a really nice conversation. I want to, first of all, thank all the people from, I know that there is some people from Guatemala. Gracias a Luisa por estar también de Colombia. Ojalá que contemos con vos, Luisa, y con otros compañeros tuyos de Colombia a futuro. Obrigado a Víctor, las personas and everybody from Brazil. And I hope that you can continue joining us. The idea of these cafés is not only to be for Costa Rica, it's to be for Latin America. And if we can bring people from Europe, that would be great. Catarina?
I think I will put here in the chat my email if any of you have a question. I'm just remembering this now. But anyway, you can find me on Facebook, and Instagram, on blah, blah, blah.
And also, I will suggest Catarina that maybe she can send me the presentation, and if someone wants the presentation, we can send it. But also, Catarina will write right now on the chat her email. You have it there. Feel completely free to write her if you have any question. I'm sure that Catarina will try to do the best to help. Also today we saw that there is possible collaborations from Brazilian students and ideas that maybe they can start looking on internet to go to internships in Portugal.
Yes, you have many platforms. I know that you have those Erasmus Mais program. I don't know if they allow, but I think they allow people outside Europe, and you have EIST trainingship. So you have lots of stuff. I can share with you what I know. But I think that what's really important is to have the idea or to really want it. And if you want something, you go for it.
Yeah. Thank you, Catarina. And at the end, I want to thank you. I mean, on some of those places that Catarina were in the past, we were together. I remember one of the last time that I saw Catarina was in the conference in Istanbul, that we have a really great time there.
We were together in Prague also.
And also in Prague. And that's why I always tell to the eyes so much, the time is going really fast, but I always say my students, and I want to tell all of you, try to travel as much as you, I mean, right now it's complicated, but I'm sure that if you cannot travel, try to create friends from people from abroad, collaborations with internationals.
Just let me say something very quickly.
Yeah.
You now might be thinking, oh, but she probably has money or something and she could do it. So it was not like that. As I've told you in the presentation, I always applied for fellowships like with the Portuguese government. And when I couldn't get a fellowship, I would write personally to the organizing committee of the conference if I really wanted to go to that conference. And normally I can tell you they were very straightforward to say, yes, we will try to find a small bursary to help you, or you can stay in a residence room and something like that. So if you really want, just ask someone, ask the committee, ask the advisors, ask someone.
Also at the ACS, there is plenty of possible fellowships and prizes and awards, travel. I think for everybody it's really important to travel. And I mean, I believe the same as Catarina, and I want to tell them, if you really want to do it, there is options. There is a lot of options, and it's only to take a time. Muchas gracias, Catarina. Greetings, Rafael Eudish. Greetings from Rio de Janeiro.
Obrigada.
And I want to thank you, Catarina, again. Really, thank you. I know that it's late right now in Lisboa. I know that you need to go to take care of your family and your son.
Oh, he's sleeping now. That's why I'm not talking louder.
And
I think he's good for until morning. It's
really
a different phase now. When they are very small, probably I couldn't be doing this, but in life, everything is phases. So
yeah.
Now he sleeps all night.
And you can continue doing your research. I want to thank everybody also for joining us. Becky, thank you very much for being with us this time. Luisa, Victor, everybody, all my students from Tecnológico de Costa Rica. I want to tell them that next week we have a presentation from one of our student members. That is, we'll be talking Juan Diego Barbosa. He will be talking about aerogels, aerogeles, and some information about that. So I will send them to all of you the invitation to the talk, and feel completely free to join and to spread these Café Virtuales around Latin America. And if you want that maybe someone from the university, from your country, will be nice for these cafés, feel free to tell me, and we will be really nice to invite that person to tell us the story. Muchísimas gracias a todos y que pasen una buena tarde, una buena noche y feliz semana.
Un momento, nada más.
Sí, ¿quién es?
Luana.
Sí, Luana.
Tenía la mano levantada, pero yo creo que no sé yo. Es para Catarina. Well, I would really like to thank you for this time. I really enjoyed it. And it was like really surprising, like when you explained the part which in chemical engineering, you have like more boys and girls. Because in Costa Rica, actually, what I'm studying, which is industrial design engineering, it's like by vice versa. We have more girls than boys, and actually, boys have shown us like the gender has nothing to do with it. They're as good as we are and everything. And I think you're inspiring to all the girls, like they're studying even like chemistry or other engineering. So I really wanted to thank you, and I didn't want the call to end before saying that. So thank you very much.
Obrigado, thank you.
Ya. Gracias y que pasen todos muy buena tarde. Thank you very much and see you next week.
Bye.